have a moment here for you that's so good from Democratic Representative Joe Neguse, who is questioning the chair of the, House Education and Workforce Committee, Virginia Foxx, who's a Republican, about what this committee has been up to under her leadership. And he makes, just through a series of questions, a really devastating point for the GOP about how, in an attempt to fearmonger about certain issues and get political brownie points with their base and go after Biden, or fearmongering about children being targeted by the horrible radical left, they end up not spending time actually, even in a committee that's supposed to be doing things to this effect, thinking about how to improve the lives of teachers, students, and real problems facing them. So take a look at this from Joe Neguse.
How many markups has your committee held in the last 6 months? We're getting close to the August recess here, another 10 days or so, or I guess 8 days.
Sorry, I don't know exactly how many. We've held a lot.
You've held a lot?
I can get you the number.
Your team is here. I mean, is it more than 5, more than 10? It can't be.
I don't know exactly how many.
I think they're trying to get your attention here. I think they have a number they can give to you.
5.
5. That doesn't sound like a lot, but 5. Okay, so 5 markups. I was expecting you to say 50 or 100 or 25 or 10, but okay, 5.
Well, we've had a lot of hearings.
I'm sure you have. Of the 5 markups, any bills on teacher pay that you've marked up?
No, because the federal government is not involved in that issue. It's not the role of the federal government to be involved with teacher pay.
Not the role of the federal government to be involved in teacher pay. Okay, good to know. Have you had any markups on student safety, school shootings, hardening schools, taking actions to better protect our students in light of growing violence?
We have not had a markup.
No markups on that. Any markups on extending learning time for students that are struggling with learning loss following the pandemic? As you've noted, a lot of students ultimately fell behind as a result of the pandemic. I wonder if any bills around...
No markup on that.
No markups on that. So, and any markups on school meals, issues around school meals? Obviously, hunger in schools, kind of an issue that you might have heard of. I know you're familiar with it. I'm just curious if there's been a markup on that.
No, but there will be. We will be working on it.
I'm glad to hear that. I hope that can be scheduled soon, because it's a pressing issue in my district and in Colorado. Look, the reason I asked this question, Madam Chair, and I think you've answered it for me, 8 months under Republican control of the House, no markups on school safety, no markups on teacher pay, no markups on hunger in schools, no markups on trying to address learning gaps as a result of the pandemic. Apparently, on the notion of teacher pay, according to the chairwoman.
And we'll end it there, but you get the point. So we saw, and we're currently seeing now, a huge emphasis from Republicans on the subject of education when it comes to CRTs being taught, and wokeness is indoctrinating our children, and all of the talking points we deal with on a daily basis in regard to education specifically from the GOP. And this committee is very intimately involved in the process of getting a bill to the floor, such as the Parental Bill of Rights bill, or whatever it was called. The House Republicans have coined one of their big victories in this Congress. And that was an attempt to play into all of these culture war things, all of these fear-mongering devices of the left's targeting your kids, and we're going to protect them by giving you more rights as parents that they're wanting to take away. And one of the, just to highlight one radical part of that bill, it forced teachers, staff members at schools to out to parents, forcibly out. This would have been, won't pass the Senate, but it would have been a part of the law if it had passed the Senate. Their students, if their students make known to them that they are LGBTQ, then the teacher, even if the parents are extremely anti-LGBTQ and could threaten the well-being of that child, the teacher would have to tell the parents under this law, forcibly outing kids and possibly decreasing their quality of life in a significant way, because we know how some people are treated after their parents find out about that. And so that was the agenda of Republicans. Were they also focused on food insecurity with students, something that schools can help to address with free meal programs? No. Were they attempting to make schools safer? Was that a priority, at least in this committee? No. And obviously gun violence specifically, they'll never touch. And so it's obviously unserious, their talking points about wanting to protect the kids, but it should enrage us all and should snap out of the buy-in to the GOP, a lot of their supporters and their voters. People need to stop falling for the bumper stickers of, we're going to protect your kids. No, you're not. You're not. You're going to fearmonger about kids being harmed by Democratic members that isn't actually real. But you're not actually going to benefit the lives of American students or American children generally. And that line of questioning highlights that point very, very effectively. I'll just show you one more moment from the same back and forth.
Madam Chair, there was an amendment, you probably recall this, about a month ago. I think it was a month ago. Time has flown by here the last couple of months. To abolish the Department of Education. I think it was to terminate the Department of Education. Did you vote for that amendment?
I'm sorry, I don't remember that amendment.
There was an amendment during a bill that you brought before this committee regarding sports in Title IX. And the amendment to that bill was brought by a gentleman on this committee, Mr. Massey. He's not here to defend the propriety of his amendment, but there are other colleagues of his who were here who co-sponsored that amendment. I believe 164 Republicans voted for it, and I'm wondering if you were among them.
I don't know, but I would, if the Lord put me in charge, I would get the federal government out of education in a heartbeat, because it's not delineated.
This seems like an awfully odd way to do that, Ms. Foxx. Madam Chair, with all respect, that's what I'm saying. You did vote. My understanding is you voted for this amendment to terminate the Department of Education. That's consistent with what you just said in terms of, if you had your ability to do that, you'd abolish it. And if that's the case, I'm not sure why you keep bringing bills to this committee to give the Department of Education and the Secretary of Education more powers.
It's exactly right and brutal, but correct. The GOP, sorry, I accidentally played the next clip there. The GOP is constantly saying we need to make the federal government less powerful and we shouldn't overstep as a federal government. But then in their attempt to play into these culture war issues, will try to give a bunch more power to the very institutions that they want to abolish, like the Department of Education. It's absurd, it's ridiculous, it's hypocritical, and we need to keep calling out Republicans in positions of power for that. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before all the clips are able to be uploaded to the YouTube channel, plus get the bonus show on the weekends, you can do so by going to lukebeasleyshow.com/membership. That's lukebeasleyshow.com/membership, and there's a link in the description.